Member for Calgary-Hays.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to all of our invited guests. And special thanks to Ambassador Shevchenko for making the trip to Alberta. We deeply appreciate your presence. And as we consider this important bill today. Today is an important day for Alberta and for our Ukrainian community in this province with the introduction of Bill 26, the Ukrainian Canadian Heritage Day Act. This year marks the 125th since Canada received its first recorded Ukrainian immigrants. Canada was still a very young nation at that time, with so many possibilities, so many opportunities. So Canada must have shone like a beacon to people looking to start a new life, to take some of those opportunities for themselves, and to use them to build a future for their families and future generations and strengthen their new country. And that call was heard halfway across the world in Ukraine. And the first of many settlers began their journey across the seas to the young nation. And we have been a better country for it every day since. The relationship between Canada and Ukraine has always been a special one. Canada has the third largest population of people of Ukrainian heritage in the world. There are over 1.25 million people of Ukrainian descent in Canada, and the impact they have made on our country seems even larger than that. The friendship between Canada and Ukraine goes back even before Ukraine declared its independence in 1991, and this is in part thanks to the vibrant and local community of Ukrainian Canadians that have already made their homes here. As a result of that friendship between us, the understanding built by living with Ukrainian neighborhoods and participating in Ukrainian culture, Canada was among the first nations to recognize Ukraine as an independent nation, and the first nation to do so in the Western world, Mr. Speaker. I think a large part of the reason Canada has been a long friend to Ukraine is that Ukrainians have long been good friends to Canada. If they have been good neighbors, leaders in business, academics, dedicated public servants, Lord knows Ukrainians work hard, Mr. Speaker. We in the PC caucus are especially aware of the talent and dedication of Ukrainian Canadians in public life, as we have had the pleasure of serving side by side with so many of them. So we know that the Ukrainian community is very passionate about giving back and committed to being leaders in their community. And that is especially true here in Alberta, where so many of our towns and cities were founded and built upon people of Ukrainian heritage. And because of this, Alberta has enjoyed the continued presence of a very large and passionate Ukrainian community. Outside of Ontario, Alberta has the largest community of Ukrainian Canadians in Canada, and this is certainly not a recent development. Our Ukrainian communities were here before Alberta even became a province. The first settlers from Ukraine and Alberta shared the same entrepreneurial frontier spirit that defines us as a province. And in this agricultural land of plenty called Alberta, Ukrainians know exactly what to do with that. Very effective and skilled farmers. The first settlers from Ukraine and Alberta shared that same entrepreneurial spirit. The resilience and perseverance they showed mirrored the traits that are most prized by Albertans. There are many Albertans today that have come from other provinces and countries who can empathize with the challenges that those early settlers faced. Like many immigrants, they didn't always receive the warmest welcome on their arrival. It is indeed likely that many early Ukrainian immigrants faced discrimination in one form or another. No, it's not likely, it happened. But that prejudice was met with the same determination that carried them across an ocean. The determination to find and build their new home in Alberta. And as they built their homes, built new communities, and shared their culture, they began to build Alberta side by side with other communities. And they found acceptance here in Alberta by demonstrating that one trait Albertans respect above all others, hard work. And it is partly their example that Albertans draw from today, where we say it doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like, as long as you're willing to contribute. So it's impossible to tell the story of Alberta without telling the story of Ukrainian heritage. And that is what we are gathered here today to do. We have come together as Alberta legislators to designate September 7th as Ukrainian Canadian Heritage Day. This is an important step in formally recognizing the impact Ukrainian Canadians have made in our province. Just as Canada stood up and recognized Ukraine as an independent nation, we stand up today in Alberta and recognize Ukrainian Canadians as an integral part of our province. And make no mistake, it is vitally important that we have days like these, days to celebrate the heritage of Alberta's many diverse communities. It's important that along with recognizing the terrific hardships that these groups have endured, like the Holodomor and the aggression Ukraine is dealing with today, that we also recognize the good. We take time to acknowledge the contributions from the sons and daughters of Ukraine that they make even today in our country and our province. We celebrate that we're a better, richer, more diverse place when it comes to new communities, and one with better food and in some cases better music. And we recognize the value and importance of that Ukrainian heritage in Alberta. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm very glad to speak to this bill today. Happy to be able to do my small part to mark this day of recognition. To all our assembled guests, the leaders and bright stars of the Ukrainian community, and to my Ukrainian friends and colleagues, thank you. It's an honor to be part of this today, and it's about time.
Hear, hear.